So in chapter 8, we start to hear about Saul. Actually, the clothes of Stephen were laid at the feet of Saul. And Saul was later to become Paul, who became the apostle to the Gentiles and wrote the majority of the New Testament. But at this time, he was a radical Pharisee, and he actually delighted in the death of Stephen. And he roused up again heavy persecution against the people of the way who were this new move of God. And so they scattered, the disciples started to scatter around the area of Jerusalem, except for the apostles who stayed in Jerusalem. And so we go on to read about, in particular, Philip. Now, Philip as well, like Stephen, had been one of the 7 chosen to wait on the tables of the widows. So again, it's showing again how even if you start off doing the more mundane things in the church, it really doesn't matter. You still have the same power, the same authority, the same signs and wonders and miracles can accompany you as the greatest apostle. So the story of Philip, he goes to Samaria, and Samaria is full of Samaritans, and Samaritans were considered to be on the fringe of the Jewish religion, if you like. They also traced their hereditary back to Joseph's sons, but they had been ostracized at some point during the intervening years and were sort of set apart and not really accepted at all by the people who considered to be themselves the true Jews. In fact, they had incredible racial prejudice against the Samaritans, but Jesus himself had gone to Samaria, and one of the first women, the woman at the well, was actually a Samaritan. So Philip was going and preaching to those, and they were receiving with delight, with great joy, this word. But they were sort of accepting Jesus as the Christ, but they weren't being filled, or the Holy Spirit hadn't come upon them, so they weren't walking in power themselves. So the apostles came, 2 of the apostles came down and laid hands on them so that they could receive the power of the Holy Spirit. And as they were laying hands, then a sorcerer, or somebody who was in Samaria, who considered himself to be a man of great magic, if you like. He was able to do also great signs and wonders, and people attributed that to God, but it wasn't from God at all. And so he kind of wanted this same power that he saw the apostles had, and he thought you could buy it, but this is a free gift from God. And so it showed that his heart, he hadn't really understood that the Holy Spirit is a free gift and is given to all those who truly believe in Jesus as the Christ, and who are able to receive the Holy Spirit as a gift, not by works. So he was trying to pay for this gift, pay for what was a gift. And maybe we're sometimes guilty of that ourselves, that we think that we can sort of earn the Holy Spirit, whereas actually there's nothing you can do. There's no amount of money, there's nothing you can do. And all you can do is receive as a gift from God. And then Philip sort of goes and he demonstrates incredible miracles. You know, he's running as fast as a chariot, and he comes up to a eunuch. And again, a eunuch is also on the fringe of what is considered to be acceptable by the Jews. The eunuch was going to Jerusalem. He was maybe a proselyte, which was somebody who converted to Judaism. And he was a man of great authority, great power, but he was black. He wasn't the same color as the Jews. He was considered, again, by the Jews to be on the outside of what they would consider to be God's covenanted people. But he was one of the first ones as well who Philip was able to talk to him and show him in the scriptures. This guy was reading from Isaiah, and he actually asked Philip, who is Isaiah talking about when he talks about he was led as a sheep to the slaughter? He was interested to know. He was not being held back by tradition. And Philip was able to then say that this is talking about the Messiah, Jesus, who has just come and died on the cross. So this sort of short chapter actually has quite a lot in it. So take it slowly and just see how much revelation you can get on it. And really understand the heart of God in this chapter for people who are not traditionally Jewish. and for people who are willing to receive the Holy Spirit as a gift, and for people who are willing to really ask questions and want to know the truth and are not stuck in old explanations. So enjoy.